Jack Frost. There was to be a big freeze tonight, Sir Topham Hatt told Percy and James. I would like you two to deliver some coal to the stations. Yes, sir, said the two engines eagerly. As Sir Topham Hatt left, Thomas arrived. He'd heard everything. You two better be careful, or Scary Jack Frost will get you. Who is Jack Frost? Percy asked. Oh, don't be so daft, James said. Jack Frost isn't scary. Yes, he is, said Thomas. He's all white with a big spiky face. Ha, said James. What a load of rubbish. James knew Jack Frost wasn't scary, but Percy on the other hand wasn't too sure. Percy steamed along the line, delivering the cars of coal. He felt nervous as he steamed along. Jack Frost isn't scary, Jack Frost isn't scary, Jack Frost isn't scary, Percy said to himself. Meanwhile, James was steaming along the Nafford route with his load. Scary Jack Frost, he shivered nervously. Ha! Thomas is just making things up. Jack Frost doesn't exist. Meanwhile, on the loop line, Percy made his last delivery. The station master was pleased to see him. Oh, Percy, said the station master. Thank goodness, we're gonna need a lot of coal to get through this freeze. Don't worry, this is my last stop. You can have the rest of mine, Percy said. Percy shunted his freight cars into the freight shed and went to go rest at a siding. And after that, he, the driver and fireman decided to sleep over for tonight. We're gonna take a rest at the station, said Percy's driver. Do you think Scary Jack Frost will get me? Percy wondered. Jack Frost isn't scary, laughed the fireman. And don't worry, Elizabeth will come by in the morning to get you some more coal. Percy's driver and fireman went to go sleep inside the bus station on the top of the hill. Then, Percy felt some flurries flying towards him, and it began to snow even more, and even more, and even more. Percy felt cold, and a few minutes later, icicles landed all over his boiler, and some icicles were also on his face, and one hung on his nose. Oh, dear! Percy shivered, but it didn't sound like Percy at all. At last, James finished his work and was about to head off back to the shed. He was still thinking about what Thomas had said. Scary Jack Frost. Pah, said James. But as James approached the junction, he spoke too soon. Hello, James, Percy shivered again. Oh no, James cried. It's Jack Frost. And he raced back to the shed quickly. The next day, Elizabeth arrived. Oh my dear, said Elizabeth. It looks like Jack Frost really got you, Percy. Percy couldn't say a word, but he heartily agreed. As soon as Percy was filled with coal, he waited for all the ice to melt away. Soon it was gone. So Scary Jack Frost was only Frost, said Percy happily. As Percy arrived back at Titmutt Station, James was bragging to the other engines. I saw Scary Jack Frost last night, James said. He even knows my name. He also knows that you ran away, teased Percy. And all the engines laughed.